with regards to the estimates or yung project cost in terms of BIM. So whenever we deal with BIM with regards to the project cost, ang kinokostingan natin dito is the structure itself. Okay? Um, so it's ano lang naman, parang it's another way for us to determine uh the cost of the project in terms of the the structure itself. Okay? So kung magkano yung mga costing no, like for example, ilan yung mga bakal or ilan yung volume of concrete that will be used. So basically, yun yung makakome up natin dito in terms of the BIM. And then um with that ginagamit natin yung mga softwares na nabanggit natin before. If you could remember, 'di ba? Like as I've said, yung for example, yung Revit. Okay? So, merong function yun to get the the quantity of a certain material doon sa structure. Ganon din sa Civil 3D, both of them are ano to, software from Autodesk. So, yun, meron din doon function um for us to determine gaano naman kadami yung earthworks. Okay, earthworks yung lupang hinahaul sa site or kailangan mong i-cut or i-excavate or pwedeng kailangan mong itambak or i-fill or embankment. Now, so with that, later, yun nga, as I promised before, di ba, sabi ko gagawa ko ng recordings for that. Hindi ko pa naasikaso. Probably next week talaga, maasikaso ko na right after lang no pinagkakabisihan ko during my off days sa teaching. Magagawa ko na yung ano natin doon, yung tutorial para makamove forward na kayo with the computer modeling itself. Now, so yun, yung i-discuss natin for today will be the um what are the parang capabilities of the BIM in terms of the costing, and at the same time what is the parang manual version or parang yung basic science behind that, or tipong paano pagka ginagawa naman siya ng mano-mano. Okay? So sige, let's start. Reply nga kayo sa chat. May tatanong ako. Can you confirm, meron ba kayong subject na parang quantity surveying or yung mag-estimate kayo? Can someone chat lang sa chat box kung yes or no lang? Meron, okay. Sige. Natapos nyo na or hindi pa? Tapos na po last sem, okay. Quantity surveying yon, yung pangalan ng subject? Okay, sige. Ayun, at least ano pala, tawag diyan, may idea na kayo dun sa ano, sa concept behind it. Wait lang. Okay. So, sige, let's start. So, again, the topic for today under BIM. Okay, so BIM and cost estimating, a change in the process for determining project cost. Okay, so for the introduction in the field of construction project management, BIM has emerged as a transformative technology, di ba? As we've discussed so many times. Okay? It revolutionized yung various aspect of the design, construction, and operation. One important areas where BIM has made a profound impact is in cost estimating. Okay? Then, traditionally, cost estimation relied heavily on manual method. Ito nga yung tinatanong ko sa inyong subject, which is the quantity surveying. So, we do such quantity take-offs. Pwede tayong gumamit ng manual or we use spreadsheet, which are prone to errors and time-consuming. Although they say that it is prone to errors, pero what I really think the advantage of doing it manually is that you really understand yung ating model model, yung ating project ay yung ating project, so that when you do the estimate, yung mga hindi kayang makita no software, syempre hindi rin naman perfect ang software, although it's almost perfect. Ayun, tawag dito, pwede natin siyang i-tweak yung ating estimate in terms of what are the gray areas na hindi kayang i-cover ng ating software. Now, with that, yun, yun I think yung isa sa mga advantages of the traditional. Pero again, I think the very advantage of this BIM in terms of the cost estimation is that yun nga, maiiwasan naman natin yung human error. Kasi syempre, hindi rin naman perfect yung tao. Minsan mayroon siya mga na-overlook. And then, yun nga, hindi din siya time consuming. Wait lang. Okay, so yun nga, hindi siya prone sa time consuming. Kumbaga isang click lang, computer na yung nagpa-process. Okay, so I think meron akong magandang example dito, lalo na doon sa sa earthworks later doon sa Civil 30. I do have one example for that one. Okay. And then yun nga lang, please be mindful that whenever you use any software as part of the BIM na later on gagamitin natin sa quantity takeoff, make sure that the input that you're going to add doon sa software natin, or lahat ng minomodel nyo sa software, or lahat ng inilalagay natin are covers the entire project, or tipong yung assumptions, the inputs should be complete. Okay, kasi yung ipaprocess sa atin ng ano to ng software will be based on the inputs that we're going to add doon sa software. For example, kung nag-model ka sa Revit ng column, hindi mo minodel yung bakal. So dahil nga sinabi natin na prone to error yung manual, pinocompute mo sa software yung dami ng bakal na gagamitin, tsaka yung concrete. Dahil meron kang model ng column, so makukuha mo yung concrete. Pero paano yung bakal? So technically, wala kang makukuhang value ng bakal kasi kulang yung input mo. So that's what I'm saying. We should be mindful of the inputs na ilalagay natin. Or for example, naglagay ka ng bakal. Ang inilagay mo initially 16 mm, for example lang. And then nagkaroon pala ng changes sa design, ginawang 20 mm, for example. Then hindi mo napalitan sa model, pero doon sa other software na ginagamit mo for calculation is nakapag-generate ka ng 20 mm, and then yun nga, hindi mo lang na-translate doon sa Revit. Ngayon, nag-quantity take-off ka, ang lumabas 16, hindi mo din chinek dahil confident ka, okay na yan, okay na yan. Then it turns out, 16 mm yung na-estimate, 16 mm yung na-order. So again, those errors naman, magpo-fall under pa din sa tao. Similar with the traditional. Kaya again, please be mindful, as I've said na paulit-ulit ngayon, whatever input that you're going to add or insert or add doon sa ating software, yan yung basis lang niya ng calculations, wala nang iba. Okay? Yes. And then BIM on the other hand offers more efficient, accurate, and collaborative approach to determining project cost. Learning objectives at the end of the day. So, una is we learn the basic procedures of cost estimating in BIM, and then we understand the basic process for determining project cost. Well, since meron naman na kayong background for the cost estimating, so I don't think naman na kumaga mahirapan kayong i-understand yung topic natin for today. It's just a matter of translating it to the software later on. Okay. So again, for the intro, it is a change in the process of determining project cost. So the simulation of alternate factors and parameters that can affect project cost in an important step in the cost estimating process. An analysis of such alternates requires time and reliable information about the project. Ito yung sinasabi ko, di ba? Reliable, kailangan tama yung i-input natin. Okay? And then yun, then however, performing this analysis, this cost analysis and simulation is often limited during the estimating process due to the compressed time allocated for such activities. The discussion on this module focuses on the building information modeling for cost estimating and how the use of BIM may facilitate cost estimators in their simulation and analysis for optimizing project cost. Class, at the end of the day, as we use the software for the cost estimation naman, it's somewhat tawag dito, optimize yung time natin. So isa to sa mga, well, kumbaga hinahanap na ngayon is yung marunong tayong gumamit ng mga softwares. Kasi although kahit gaano tayo kagaling as an engineers using manual. So the moment na you know plenty of softwares, or the moment you can offer plenty of softwares, so it makes you more efficient in terms of your task, or in terms as an engineer. Kasi yun nga, instead of doing it manually katulad ng ginagawa before, so click-click lang, yung sabi nila click-click lang, so makukuha na natin yung gusto nating kunin doon sa model natin. Pero class, at the end of it, I don't want to overemphasize yung software kasi we observe, actually may I just share bago ko mag-move. Yung nakwento sa akin to nung classmate ko ngayon sa PhD. Isa siya sa mga parang executive ng one of the local companies here in the Philippines. So na-observe niya na yung younger generation, I think Gen Z generation na yung tinutukoy niya kasi medyo bata parang fresh grad, I think, madaling turuan ng software. Okay, so parang ilang weeks or months lang magaling na mag-software. I think ganun din kayo kasi you are very well exposed with the technology, 'di ba? Lahat naman ng access is kaya niyo nang ma-access ngayon through technology. Okay? So, kumbaga madaling maturuan pagdating sa computer, pagdating sa mga software. But the problem is, naiintindihan nung bata yung paano gawin sa software, nasusundan niya, nakakapag-output siya ng efficient, ng mabilis, pero hindi niya ma-interpret. Okay? I think that's one of the lacking in terms of kapag you are so much invested with the software. So what I want here is as we move forward with this topic, including din yung mga previous topic natin, is that as you understand or as you learn software in the future, lalo kapag nakapag-upload na ako ng video, yun, as you learn those softwares, so mas magiging efficient na kayo. As I've said, may ilalagay na kayo sa mga resume nyo pag nag-apply kayo soon. Ngayon, please don't forget the manual science or the manual approach behind that. Kasi it will be very hard for you to interpret the results coming from the softwares, coming from the BIM softwares, kapag hindi mo naman naiintindihan yung concept behind that. So, para lang din siyang di ba pag nagdo-drawing kayo sa AutoCAD, ganyan. So, magaling na kayo mag-AutoCAD. Pero wag niyong kakalimutan yung natutunan nyo. I think, parang course nyo yung mas focused sa manual drafting. So wag niyo din kakalimutan yung manual drafting kasi kapag wala kayong computer na hawak, at least alam nyo paano yung gagawin doon sa on-site, lalo na yung mga scaling. And also, I observe there are civil engineering students to ha. There are civil engineering students na umaabot na ng mga higher year, pero hindi marunong magbasa ng ng scale or hindi marunong gumamit ng graphical scale. So, yun. Again, don't forget what is the concept behind everything as we move forward with the BIM, since this is a um, parang innovation, or this is a technology software na ginagamit natin. Okay? So, okay. The expectation is that the adoption and implementation of BIM in the AEC industry, architecture, engineering, construction, increases the design and construction process will evolve, and so will the technology used to create. And eto na nga, so we said this multiple times, the adoption of BIM, okay, it evolves with the technology, dahil nga gumagamit na tayo ng BIM. As consequence of evolving processes and technology, the methods of stakeholders, pointers to, used to fulfill their responsibilities on the project team will change. Kung dati kailangan mo ng mga manual drafter, ngayon kailangan mo na ng CAD operator, parang ganun. Example lang 'yan. Kung dati yung nagde-design is manual, ngayon kailangan mo na ng modeler para sa design. The future of the cost estimator's role, ito na yung sa cost, and responsibilities will change also, of course, to include more value-added activities to support cost management decision. So yun, as we go along, we will, as I've said, we will be having examples of this on how we apply softwares from BIM. Okay, so cost estimating is a complex activity that requires knowledge beyond quantification and pricing of materials and labor. Although the topic of this module is BIM and cost estimating, the process map shown in figure 3.1, ito, is an excerpt of the process map of cost estimating and budgeting from the total cost management framework, okay, from Holman 2006, in which the traditional process is depicted. So ito yung processes natin sa cost estimating. Ito yung sinasabi ko kasi kapag hindi mo alam yung process niya behind, tapos click-click ka lang, okay na. Pero kasi hindi lang naman yun para malaman mo ilang piraso, etc. So there are other aspects behind that. Kaya nga sinabi dito, it requires knowledge beyond the quantification and pricing. Kasi yung pag-quantify, yan yung tinuro sa inyo sa QS. Yung pricing, yan yung makakabisado nyo as you have an experience. Kasi part of the QS, yung magka-canvas ka, magkano ba yung presyo? 'Di ba? We multiply the quantity sa unit price para makuha natin yung total price. Pero hindi lang din kasi siya ganoon kasimple. Minsan the we tweak the cost so that, or the material na gagamitin, or we change the material na gagamitin kasi may hinahabol tayong total budget cost. An example of that one is, for example, you have a 5 million project tapos nagka-delay ka. If you're gonna follow the same material na gagamitin mo, mag-overspend ka kasi masyado ka ng maraming nagagamit na cost sa labor. So with that, kailangan mong i-divert yung fund from the material papunta sa cost. Pero kailangan hindi magsa-sacrifice yung construction mo kapag nagpalit ka ng material. So yung aspect na yon is tinatawag nating value engineering. Pero yon, with that, so again, hindi complex activity siya, hindi lang siya fixed doon sa makuha mo lang yung piraso tapos i-multiply mo lang sa unit cost. Kasi take note, we need to balance it with the current cash on hand or yung current contract price, kasi hindi ka pwede lumampas doon or else abunado ka. Okay? So with this figure, okay, so makikita nyo dito, nasa pinakagitna yung quantity, ay yung quantified the scope content or yung take off, tapos it goes to the cost scope content. Going sa right is the price ng estimate. Kaya lang, on the left-hand side, this is the budgeting. Ito yung sinasabi sa inyo, we do budget. And then, we also check that with the schedule, with the resources quantities. Tapos, we also take into consideration yung mga contingency risks and so on. So, yun, marami tayong mga kino-consider in terms of the cost estimating concept as a whole, hindi lang sa BIM. So, lahat naman ng makukuha natin coming from the BIM is will only contribute sa process of the cost estimating as a whole. Magko-contribute lang siya dito. Okay. So yun, again, figure 3.1 shows clearly shows the relationship between creating a plan to estimate a project's cost, the quantity take-off, okay, pricing the quantity take-off, costing the scope content, and simulation and optimization of project cost. Again, at the end of the day, we want our cost to be optimized pa. Siyempre, to maximize the profit, or let's say we don't want the profit to be part of the budget. Okay. Okay. Sabi dito, BIM in this section focus on the vocabulary. Okay, I think it's already been defined before. Let's move. Okay, lipat tayo. Ayan, the estimating process. In this section, the estimating process is discussed from both the traditional and the BIM perspective. Okay, this section may also includes several comparison between the two perspectives. Okay, so let's proceed yung sa traditional versus sa BIM perspective. So dati, well, ito yung ginawa nyo. Okay, so we use pencil and paper and calculator syempre. So mano-mano, di ba, kinikwenta natin. So kung ano yung makikita natin, titingnan natin yung for example, meron tayong section, okay, sa yung katulad ng ginagawa niyo sa BI sa structural detailing, di ba, pinapakad ko sa inyo yung schedule, I think, na mga footing, etc. So that will be part of the succeeding paper pala. Kasi naka-uplan pa lang pala tayo. So yun, you will check let's say, footing. Titingnan mo yung plan, sa foundation plan, ilang piraso yung footing. Nabilang mo 9. Ngayon, pupunta ka sa schedule. Titingnan mo ngayon, ano bang dimension ng footing na to? So makikita mo na ang dimension pala niya is 1 meter by 1 meter in area, tas ang thickness niya 200 mm. So you multiply that 1 by 1 by 0.2, so you get the volume. And then you multiply that sa sa 9 pieces, kasi 9 pieces yung nakita mo, footing. So makukuha mo ngayon yung total volume. So ganun mag-manual process. Okay? On the other hand, kung ayaw mong gumamit ng paper and calculator, you use naman spreadsheet. Okay? Ito yung isa sa pinaka useful. Hanggang ngayon ginagamit to yung mga seasoned engineers, mas tiwala sa quantity take-off ng spreadsheet. Mas tiwala pa nga yan kaysa sa calculator kasi yan, ma-set mo lang ng tama, hindi mo na siya uulit-ulitin. Papalitan mo na lang, for example, yung unit cost, or may papalitan kang isang dimension, mag-a-update na lahat. So, magiging confident ka kasi siya, Excel naman yan. So, computerized yan. Pero hindi yan considered class, hindi siya considered as BIM. Yung spreadsheet natin, consider yan as traditional. Okay? Kasi para lang din yung calculator kung saan you transmit everything instead of manually writing it in table sa papel, dito mo na lang siya i-type. Kaya manual yan. Yung na yan. Yung process na yan. Okay? On the other hand naman, you can do both. Pwede mong gamitin pareho. Okay? So, pwede ka gumamit ng calculator. Ito yung normal kong ginagawa. as I create Excel, minimake sure ko na yung ini-input ko sa Excel will be the same as the one I input sa calculator. Kailangan pareho. Para kapag na-format ko na yung Excel, sigurado kung tama na yung pagkaka-format ko kasi pareho yan ang lalabas sa calculator. So, dapat later on, ganun din kayo. If you're gonna use Excel. Okay? Now, on the other hand, so ito yung traditional natin. So, meron naman, so pagdating sa estimating process, ito baka hindi nyo masyadong maintindihan pa. Kasi kailangan ko magpakita ng example nito ng naka-software na. Pero makikita nyo yun doon sa i-upload kong mga recordings. Pero the concept behind the BIM as it runs the cost estimation is meron siyang two methods, whether is stochastic or deterministic. So sabi dito, in addition to categorizing based on the tools used as traditional or BIM generated estimate, cost estimate are also categorized on the methodology used for estimating. Well, yung BIM, it also runs how the manual or the traditional approach is being done. Pero yun, aside from that, there are also another methods which is the stochastic and deterministic. So ano ba yung stochastic and deterministic? Sa stochastic, it use algorithms. If you are familiar with the algorithms, so okay, sabi dito, in which the independent variable are generally something other than a direct measure of the material item being estimated, okay, and are subject to the estimator's judgment. Stochastic methods typically involve modeling based on inferred or statistical relationship. Ito yung importante dito, statistical relationship between cost and programmatic and or technical parameters. So, yung stochastic kasi, it is statistically based sa pagkuha niya ng um, cost. Okay? If I will be giving you an example, it's like more on magkano yung magiging ball figure ng isang project if you're going to compare it with the previous projects, considering na meron tayong inflation, di ba? So, with that, if you're going to calculate it, there's no exact formula, pero just multiplier probably the expected inflation with regards to the historical data or statistical data ng same project, although hindi siya same size pero same scope. So if you can scale it down, probably linearly or exponentially, if you're familiar with that. Okay? So linear meaning isang value ng x is equal to one value of y. So that's linearly. Okay? Meaning again, linear siya. Pag pinlat mo sa graph, yung mga values, for example, gawa tayo ng graph, kuha ako ng ano. For example, gawa tayo ng graph, yung x natin, that is the magnitude. Gagawin natin. Magnitude meaning gaano kalaki yung project. Pwede nating i-scale siguro by hectares. Kunwari, gaano kalaki yung project. Or by kung building, how many floors? Times, i-multiply mo sa floor area para makita mo yung total floor area. Ganon. Magnitude. Tapos, ito yung cost. Tapos, pag sinabi mong linear, parang, ano siya, kunwari, 1:1, parang pwede kang mag-plot. Tapos linearly, yan, makukuha mo siya. Pag exponentially, ang equivalent ng 1 dito sa vertical is 10 nung ating graph. So ini-stretch mo yung ating graph exponentially dito para maging maging linear yung lalabas pero exponential siya. Pero anyway, it's ano siya, tawag dito, it's just an example on how statistical approach are being done in terms of stochastic kasi gumagamit siya ng algorithms. 'Di ba ang algorithms is naka-based din sa mga historical data. Okay? And then lastly is deterministic. Pag sinabi mong deterministic, it includes counts or measure of units of items multiplied by the unit cost or factor. So ito yung normal na ginagawa natin. Kaya nga 'di ba sabi ko sa inyo doon sa previous slide is that si BIM ginagawa din yan yung traditional. Okay, which is yun nga yung may manual paper pero naka-process siya doon sa software itself. So yun is the deterministic way. Pero normally naman if you're gonna ask me between these two, the stochastic and deterministic, deterministic talaga yung ginagamit natin in terms of the cost. We use stochastic if we want to get the ball figure of the project. Kunwari, rough assumption, gusto mong malaman magkano ba yung ganitong project. Like for example, if you are on the client side, kunwari gusto nung may-ari magpatayo kunwari ng 50-story building. So wala siyang idea. Ikaw din definitely wala kang idea. Hindi mo 'yun mabibigyan ng costing kung walang plano, 'di ba? Kung walang everything. Kumbaga nasa concept stage pa lang kayo. Kumbaga nagbe-brainstorming pa lang kayo ng may-ari na boss mo. Now, ano ngayon pwede mong gamitin? Pwede mong gamitin data. Is yung data historically kung meron kayong mga other projects, pwede kayong magtanong sa mga nakapagpagawa na magkano yung nagastos nila. So, with that, tapos you multiply the inflation, with that, you use the historical data. Tama ba? So, yun, hindi tayo nagko-quantify in deterministic process. Kasi di ba, as I've said here, the deterministic is we multiply the unit cost sa unit of items. Okay? So, yun, I hope everything is clear with regards on how the beam works. Pero, again, everything, all of the topics that are being discussed here are quite, hindi siya ganun tawag ito, hindi niya pa siya ganun ma-appreciate until na mag-show na ako sa inyo ng software na which I will do. So for now, we will just stick first with the module and topics that are being provided by the department. Pero rest assured, bago matapos tong October, nagsisimula na kayong ano ng model para meron kayong further further knowledge about the BIM itself. Ayun. So that will be the end. Maiksi lang naman yung topic natin for today. So do you have any question? So wala muna akong ipapasubmit hanggang hindi pa ako nakakapagbigay sa inyo ng ipapagawa. Wala rin mo ng mga SeatWorks and everything. So probably you may use this remaining time yun, to continue na lang yung isa kong requirement sa inyo sa kabilang subject. Any question? Stop ko na yung recording class.